Brains will tell us that action creates your reality, but it's actually backwards. Frequency creates your reality. So instead of focusing on actions, we want to start from a place of alignment. And the simple way I talk about this, so it's easier to comprehend in the mind, is it's a frame. What is a frame, right? The frame is you. It's the frequency of you. So your frame, the frame you're operating from, creates your mindset. Your mindset creates your actions. Welcome to the Do the Impossible podcast. I'm Jason Drees. Don't forget to go to MondayMindsetReset.com to join the movement every Monday at 10 a.m. Central. Let me align your mindset for success. It's a free call, MondayMindsetReset.com. So, how are you doing? How's your confidence going these days? There's some interesting things going on in the world, right? There's some economic stuff. There's some interest rate stuff. There's some housing stuff. You probably have some personal stuff, but you know something? There's probably always stuff going on. What I wanted to talk a little bit about today is frame shifting. Like, you hear me talk about frame shifting. What the heck is frame shifting? So let's talk about frame shifting a little bit here, and then let's talk about how to use frame shifting to create confidence. Because confidence helps you move faster. Confidence is an indicator of alignment. Confidence will allow you to find new opportunities, new possibilities, new connections, and help you move faster than ever before. So what is a frame? So a frame is you, right? So the simple way to think about this is your hands take action, right? Hands take action. What controls your hands? Action is controlled by the mind. Your hands control your mind, right? What controls your mind? That's a good question, right? What controls your mind? You control your mind. I control my mind. But sometimes external stimulus, external things controls our mind. So what controls your thoughts? Because in reality, your mind, the thoughts you have, actually control your mind. So your thoughts control your mind. And sometimes the thoughts we create, and sometimes we just get the thoughts. So where do the thoughts come from? And I know I've probably talked about this in a previous episode, but we can never talk about frame shifting enough. So the way I like to think about it is that the frequency of you, like what the heck does that mean? Well, it's very simple. Your body, like mine, is made of atoms. So is this desk. So is this microphone. So is this t-shirt, this polo shirt I'm wearing, made of atoms, right? And if we look at an atom under a microscope, it's pure energy. So you are energy. You're playing life you're an energetic being playing in a holographic energetic reality. And we're doing everything we can to create the reality we want. But what's actually happening a lot of the time is we are reacting to the present reality. So we'll have a reaction which will affect the frequency. You see something and you get mad, right? If you get mad, you're in a mad frequency, which will create a mad frequency of thoughts, mad thoughts, which will create mad actions. If you are in a happy frequency, you will create a happy thoughts. And a happy thoughts will create happy actions. The same goes with being successful, not being successful, confidence, resourcefulness, etc. So your ability to create success is directly tied to getting yourself in alignment with what you want. Because we all know that hard work doesn't create success. Alignment with success creates success. Now, hard work gives you more chances to create success. And everyone tells you got to work hard. And everybody says that because most people don't know what it takes to create success. The way you get success is you get into alignment with success. And I'm talking about not an alignment with your actions, alignment with your frequency, with your frame. Because the frame of you, when you align the frame of you with the target, confidence in action, if I'm in a confident, successful frequency, I'll have a confident, successful mindset, and I will then create confident, successful actions that I'll know what to do. Now, our brains will tell us that action creates your reality, but it's actually backwards. Frequency creates your reality. In other words, reality creates your actions, right? So instead of focusing on actions, we want to start from a place of alignment. And the simple way I talk about this, so it's easier to comprehend in the mind, is it's a frame. What is a frame, right? The frame is you. It's the frequency of you. So your frame, the frame you're operating from, creates your mindset. Your mindset creates your actions. Most of us get that wrong, and we're trying to change reality based on actions. So the frame is also, you can also think of it like point of view. You can look at the frame, you can look out the window frame of one side of the house and get a one view, and you look out the other side. You could be looking out one window of your house and saying, it looks great. You look out the other side, there's a fire right there, a tornado, right? So the frame you operate from determines what you see. Now, as a human being, you have the ability to shift frames, and most of us just don't do that often enough. Or we don't control that. A lot of times the frame that actually shows up is the frame of reaction, where you're driving in your car and you hear a song and you remember something 20 years ago, and maybe it was a relationship or maybe something that happened. But usually what happens with frame shifting that we're aware of, that we're most impacted by, is when we have a reaction to like a song or an external stimulus, and we have a negative reaction. And the negative reaction lowers our frame, lowers our frequency, lowers our mindset, lowers our action. What I'm teaching everybody how to do is to shift their frame, to shift their frequency into an elevated version of themselves that they haven't been yet. Because if you can align yourself with an elevated frequency, you will start performing life at a higher level. One of the biggest challenges to that is getting out of reaction to the present reality. Because the reaction that you're having, if you wake up and look at your life today, and maybe you're frustrated about work, or you're frustrated about your relationship, or maybe you don't like your neighbor's dog, like whatever it is, there's a reaction. And when you're in that reaction, you're literally going through a emotional process in a response to an external stimulus. What usually happens for most of us is we live our lives in reaction. So we react to something we want, or we react to something, and then we try to take action to something we want. But we're usually starting from a place of reaction instead of a place of alignment. So anytime you're in reaction, you need to cool off. You need to calm down. You need to breathe. You need to take a few moments to get balanced. Oh my God, this is not good. Breathe, process. Okay, I'm now no longer in reaction. What do I want? Can I get a sense of the version of me that knows what to do? Can I get a sense of the version of me that's going to do great on this sales call? Can I get a sense of the version of me that knows how to find that additional opportunity? Can I get the sense of the version of me that knows how to create that social media post or to record on my podcast without fear? When you start that, the reason why I ask get a sense of you, because it's literally when we shift our awareness to a different version of ourselves, the frequency of you will start to change. And if you hold that frequency for 30 seconds, a minute, you'll start to think different thoughts. And one of the tools that I use when I need to come up with a new idea is I'll do a frame shift. I'll get a sense of the version of me that knows the answer, or the version of me that has the answer, or the version of me that knows what to do. And I'll hold my awareness on that frame for 30 seconds to a minute. I'll wait an hour, do it again, wait an hour, do it again. And then I'll repeat that one day later. So 24 hours later, and then 48 hours later. Although I've never actually got to the end of day 2 without getting a new answer. Like, this is really how you create thoughts. How do you create thoughts? Like, this is how you create thoughts, because we don't know where thoughts come from, but now we do. Thoughts come from the frequency of you. So if you take the time to start to align yourself with what you want, you will move into alignment with success. You'll start thinking different thoughts, and those different thoughts will start to shape reality around you. You'll literally start to have different desires, because let's say every day at lunch, you rode a stationary bike. Is what you did. Every day at lunch, I worked out and I rode my bicycle for 30 minutes and I listened to a podcast. But all of a sudden, one day you decide, no, I'm going to go for a walk instead. And this day you go for a walk, and then you meet a connection on the walk that changes everything. Because we got to remember, we're like literally one moment, one phone call, one email, one text, one social media direct message away from what you want. And even better than that, you're one moment away from something that changes your life. But you got to stop reacting to what you don't want, and you got to stop saying it's not here. Now, you got to break through those old patterns. The easiest way to break through those old patterns is to hire a coach. Because if you hire a coach, you're going to get aligned on a regular basis, like consistently aligned. Coaching is one of the most powerful tools to help you stay on the right path to your success. That's why ever since I started coaching 10, 15 years ago, I've always had a coach. Right now, I have 3 or 4 different coaches that I use because they all have different specialties. So one thing you want to do after this episode is book in a free intro session, freeintrosession.com. My team will give you a complimentary intro session. But we really got to be aware of the thoughts that we're thinking and the ideas that are coming up, because that's your indicator of alignment. So if you're feeling negative emotion, if you're feeling heavy, if you're feeling uncertainty, that means you're out of alignment. And a lot of times we start in a place of misalignment and trying to work our way into alignment. We're out of alignment and we try to work our way to success by taking action. But when you're out of alignment, the first step is not action. When you're out of alignment, the first step is getting into alignment. And by getting into alignment, you will then take a better action. So this brings me to confidence and this brings me to certainty. One of the things that we can get stuck on is creating uncertainty. So there's a concept I talk about is micro frames and macro frames, right? Now, right now, while I'm managing my business and my life, and I'm tackling the obstacles that come up as best I can, as I'm moving through my goals, like, okay, I want to expand my podcast reach. I want to expand my Facebook group. And I may not know exactly the details to do that. So at the micro level, right? The micro level, the micro frame, specifically around the short-term action, which creates the micro mindset and the micro action, I may not be 100% certain that this action is going to create my target. Now, one place I see most clients get stuck is they end up having uncertainty at the micro level and letting that micro level uncertainty creep into the macro level. And here's what that means. So first of all, what actually creates reality is the macro frequency of you. The global frequency that you're operating in is what life responds to, the global one, right? The micro one is where most of our attention is spent. So we're spending our time focused on what's the action, what do I need to do? And we're taking all this action. And as you're trying to troubleshoot, you may be having uncertainty. Like, I don't know the action. My goal is to grow my business this year. I don't know if it's marketing or sales or rebranding or whatever the focus is, but one of these things. So we're taking action to figure that out. One thing that's going to help you stay in alignment is that while you're trying to figure out the solution at the macro level, you want to intentionally and consciously create certainty at the macro level. So we have micro level uncertainty, macro level certainty. This is what this looks like. Okay, so for example, I'm working in my business. I'm an entrepreneur. The market's a little bit tough right now. I'm trying different things. I'm trying some social media posts. I'm trying some Facebook ads. I'm trying some networking. I'm going to some masterminds. So you're taking different actions to get a breakthrough in your business, either in marketing or revenue, and you don't know. So there's uncertainty at the micro level. At the same time, you can choose to create a frame because a frame is a decision. You could say, regardless of what happens, I am going to figure out how to grow my business. I am going to grow my business to 7 figures or to 8 figures or to 9 figures or whatever that is. I am absolutely going to grow my business over the course of this year, even if I don't know how. Now, that sounds like an interesting statement, but it creates certainty. Like, can you feel the certainty in that? I am going to grow my business this year, even though I don't know how, because I'm not going to stop until I do. And that's the powerful word. I'm not going to stop until I do. I don't know how to grow my business over the next 3 months, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm not going to stop until I do. Feel the certainty in that statement. So that type of statement is how you create certainty, a frame of certainty at the macro level that allows the micro level to be out of alignment as life fills in the gap. So we're basically holding ourselves into alignment at a global level. Yeah, we're going this direction, and I'm going to let life fill in the gaps, whether I'm going to ride my bike or walk or take a car or a train or a plane or whatever. And when we start to have more openness around the how at the micro level, we actually open ourselves up to much greater change, much greater focus, much greater expansion. So try that if you're lacking confidence and certainty. Check in on the certainty and confidence at the macro level and intentionally create a decision to do that. And you may even want to write that decision down that creates that frame at the macro level and repeat it every day for the next week and watch what happens. Creating certainty at the macro level is the fastest, easiest way to create alignment. Creating alignment with what you want allows life to bring it to you. Does that make sense? If you have any questions, go to the Monday Mindset Reset Facebook group and post them there and I'll respond to them. Also, don't stop. Don't wait. Take some action now. Right now, with the market and the economy doing the crazy stuff it is, this is not the time to wait. This is the time for action. So take action. And one investment that is good in any market condition is investing in yourself. Go to freeintrosession.com, freeintrosession.com, where my team will give you a complimentary session to make sure you're aimed at the right target. Do that. Share this episode with someone who could benefit from it. Hit the subscribe, leave a testimonial on here so other people can find it. And I will see you next week. I'm Jason Drees with Jason Drees Coaching and the Do the Impossible podcast. I will talk to you then. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.